Joining me now, highly rated talk show host from the Metroplex. For the uninitiated, that would be deep in the heart of Texas in Dallas. It's Mark Davis, so multitasking and talented that he's gone from the airwaves to the word processor. His new book, Lone Star America, How Texas Can Save Our Country. Mark Davis, it is an honor to have you here on America's Forum.
Well, it means the world to me. A big fan of Newsmax, a big fan of yours. Thank you.
Well, Mark, we replayed George W. Bush recounting what many considered to be a gaffe. What about Texas and your belief that Texas can save our country? Why do you believe Texas is America's last best hope?
Let's go back to the era of George W. Bush as governor before president. So in 1994, when I moved back to my native Texas in 1994, we had just a little bit of Ann Richards left. And then Governor Bush won and served his 2 terms and then gave us Rick Perry thereafter. And in these delicious 20 years of one-party rule, Texas has become a laboratory for exactly what conservatives talk about. Here's the huge year of Senate elections, right? Here comes the enormously important 2016 Republican presidential nomination battle and then a general election. What's on the list of things that we think the country should do? Tax less, spend less, regulate sensibly, obey the Constitution, things we've generally been doing in Texas for 20 years with spectacular results. And that's not by accident.
Well, Mark, we've had President Bush. Rick Perry ran for president once. There's certainly been a strong economic record in Texas. Is Rick Perry going to emerge as the front runner for the Republican nomination?
There's a flow chart that gets us to the answer to that question. Number one is, will he run? He certainly looks like someone who's running. He's absolutely all over the place. He's arguing with Rand Paul on the pages of the Washington Post about isolationism. He is broadening his appeal. He was at CPAC with one of the most uplifting speeches this past winter. So he looks like a candidate. Does that absolutely mean he's running? No, I don't think he's totally made up his mind yet. If he does, I'm not going to sit here and make him the front runner. I mean, who knows what he might have competition from another Texan in Ted Cruz. You never know how the Christie thing's going to work out. Scott Walker, Bobby Jindal. We have so much strength, so much talent, all flooding the zone here. It's hard to know how it'll go. But I can make you the following absolute guarantee: the Rick Perry that you see in a 2016 race is going to be better than the one you saw in 2012. And I'm not even talking about the oops moment and the inability to remember that third agency that he would get rid of on a debate stage. I'm talking about a guy who's laid down 3 more years of piloting Texas, not just surviving, but thriving in the continually noxious era of Obama. And that's a big deal. I think there'll be an appetite for governors. And is there any governor that has a track record like Governor Perry has of standing astride his state and just saying no to federal overreach? He'll be off the pain meds. He's doing much better. He'll be sleeping better. I think it'll be a pretty forceful candidacy if he chooses to undertake it.
And with current events, we talk about the great economic record, but the troubling problems that continue at the border. Perry calling out the National Guard. Is that another feather in his cap?
Well, I mean, it is. And this led a lot of people to say, oh, that's just opportunism. That's just him trying to look good for the GOP nomination. I did have people tell me, they said, you know what that looked like in the midst of White House inaction on the border? Governor Perry mobilizing the National Guard. It looked presidential. Well, if it did, so much the better for a campaign that he might wage. This is something that places in perfect juxtaposition the open borders policy of the White House versus the protect our borders and make them mean something attitude of the governor. It's kind of interesting when you have a governor acting in a way that seems more presidential than the actual president.
Hey, before we part company, Mark, obviously Daily Talk Radio has a discipline all its own. Writing this book, what was the toughest thing about writing a book? About 30 seconds left.
Carving out the time, because I do this. I write for the morning news. I write for Town Hall. And we all have our own shows. You'll be the first to admit that this is a time-consuming thing. So devoting the time, making my loving family giving me the time to do it, and it's just been a joy. I hope everybody enjoys Lone Star America. It's just a suggestion, man. We got a lot of things to fix, and I think Texas has some solutions that might work out well.
Mark Davis, we certainly appreciate your time today. Good luck with that new book, Lone Star America, How Texas Can Save Our Country.
Thank you, sir.
And hearing Mark talk about Texas, I'm reminded that Texas played a major role in the history of American flight, especially space flight. Remember, the first word uttered on the moon was Houston. Remember Houston, Tranquility Base here? The Eagle has landed. Let's take a look back now at the history of aviation and space travel from the Wright brothers to the lunar landing, courtesy of Newsmax TV.
Fly 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic.
Here she is, safe and sound, having just completed the first flight by a woman across the Atlantic.
Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? We choose to go to the moon.
And I will ride into the fire.
That's one small step for man.
Rise above the flames.
One giant leap for
I will
man.
climb like a phoenix and rise.
The crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger slipped the surly bonds of Earth to touch the face of God.